Let me tell you something. If you ever want to see the true depths of human audacity, just buy a house in a neighborhood with a homeowners association. I mean it. Forget horror movies. Try coming home from a long weekend to find a 50-year-old fire truck blocking your driveway. And not just any driveway, but your own private easement. Yeah, that happened. I stood there, suitcase in hand, just blinking at this giant red relic surrounded by cones, with a sign that said, "Future site of the Heritage Gate. Temporary obstruction for community improvement." Like, are you kidding me? Let me back up a sec. I live in one of those flag lots, where your house is tucked behind others, and you get this long, skinny driveway that's all yours. Deeded, surveyed. The whole 9 yards. Bought the place 5 years ago. Fell in love with the old oak tree at the corner. This tree, man, it's probably seen more American history than any president alive. It's got character, shade, squirrel drama. Honestly, I think half the birds in the city have nested there at some point. But there's always that one neighbor, right? Ours is the HOA board president. Let's call her, I don't know, Marge, because she gives off big, calls the city over your mailbox color energy. Marge has been on a holy crusade to get my tree cut down since day one. She wants all the houses to look like Stepford, and this glorious, ancient oak just messes up her vision of uniform decorative shrubs. She sent me letters, emails, smoke signals, you name it, demanding I chop it down. But the tree's protected by city law, and, hell, it's on my land. One time, she claimed it was a safety hazard. I countered with an arborist report and copies of every ordinance I could find. If there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I keep receipts. Literal cabinets full of them. Fast forward. I go out of town for a few days, nothing wild, just some family time. I roll back into town Sunday night, picturing a shower and my own bed, and I see this fire truck barricading my only way in. Not even a cool, modern fire engine. This thing looked like it should have a Dalmatian riding shotgun. There were cones, there were signs, and there was absolutely no way for me to get to my house. So, I park on the street, shuffle over, and just stand there, reading the signs. Marge's name is right there. Contact board president for details. Oh, I'm going to contact her, all right. I call, and she picks up with that voice, you know? The one people use when they're about to serve you something unpleasant with a side of fake sweetness. She says she hopes I had a nice trip, and isn't it great that I got to see our community improvement project? I tell her, point blank, she's blocking my driveway. She laughs and says the board voted to park the truck there temporarily while they prep the site for some Heritage Gate. She's acting like it's her backyard lemonade stand, and I'm the one being unreasonable for wanting to, access my home. I remind her, this is a private easement. I own it. She shrugs it off. It looks like community property, she says. So it's for the community. My personal convenience doesn't matter, apparently. She tells me to park 2 blocks away and walk. When I ask about the truck, she brags about buying it from a county auction and how it'll be the centerpiece of her pet project. Then, and this is where it gets truly petty, she hints that if I were more reasonable about the tree, maybe this problem would go away. Like, wow. Subtle. Now, I'm standing there, frustrated as hell, and that's when I notice it, a dark puddle under the truck. I crouch down, shine my phone light, and sure enough, something's leaking. Smells like petroleum, thick and nasty. This isn't just inconvenient. It's a hazmat waiting to happen. I do what any responsible, slightly vindictive homeowner would do. I take about 100 photos, date-stamped, close-ups, wide shots, the works. Then I go inside and start dialing. First, I leave a detailed message with the city's after-hours line. Unpermitted structure blocking deeded access. Next, I call the environmental hotline. I want a paper trail longer than the truck itself. The next morning, I get on the phone with city permits. Any record of a Heritage Gate project? Nothing. No permits, no applications. This whole thing is a sham. Just Marge playing chicken with my property rights. I call the towing company the HOA normally uses. The dispatcher basically tells me, sorry, we were told by your HOA not to touch that thing. So Marge had already covered her bases with them. That's when it clicks. I don't need a regular tow. I need the kind of folks who clear overturned semis from the interstate. I find a heavy equipment recovery company an hour away, tell them the situation. They quote me a number that makes my wallet cry. But hey, it's not my truck. We set it up for Thursday morning. Meanwhile, I get my paperwork together: deed, survey, arborist report, photos, and a notarized letter authorizing the removal of unauthorized vehicles from my easement. When the crew rolls up, man, what a sight. Giant rotator truck, the kind with the crane that could probably hoist a whale out of a pool. The driver looks like he's been doing this since the Nixon administration. He checks the leak, nods, and gets to work. Neighbors start coming out, phones in hand. People love drama, and nothing says Monday morning gossip like a fire truck getting craned off someone's driveway. 2 hours later, it's loaded up, and I pay the drop fee. $4,000 on my card. But here's the kicker. The bill ultimately goes to whoever owns the vehicle. Sweet. Within an hour, Marge is at my door, full Karen mode. She accuses me of stealing community property. I keep my cool, barely, and hand her the receipt, tell her where her beloved fire truck is, and suggest she settle the bill with the recovery company. She threatens to call the cops. I say, by all means, here's the tow guy's business card. But I'm just getting started. That Friday, my attorney files a construction lien against the HOA's common areas. Why? Because their truck created a safety hazard and violated my rights. With the lien in place, they can't do much of anything. No selling, no refinancing, no new projects, until I'm paid. Word gets out fast. Emergency HOA meeting Monday morning. I don't go, but I hear all about it. Turns out, Marge didn't have a full board vote to park the truck there. Their bylaws say anything over $1,000 or potentially creating liability needs majority approval. Insurance won't cover unauthorized placement, so now the HOA's on the hook for everything, and the other board members are livid. By Wednesday, their lawyer calls me. Suddenly, everyone wants to be friends. They offer to pay the recovery fee, storage, my attorney's costs, and a little extra for the trouble. The grand total, $8,400. I agree. On one condition: Marge resigns as board president and can't run again for 2 years. 24 hours later, it's a done deal. The check arrives, along with an agreement that my easement is off limits without my written consent. With some of the settlement, I upgrade my security system: 4K cameras, motion sensors, the works. I even get a custom sign: private easement. Unauthorized vehicles will be recovered at owner's expense. No exceptions. The best part? Next Sunday, I'm outside watering my plants. Marge strolls by, gives my oak tree the stink eye, then mutters something as she passes. My tree's still standing, looking better than ever. You know what? Sometimes the best revenge is just paperwork. Paperwork and letting people fall into the holes they dig for themselves. Last I heard, that fire truck is still racking up storage fees in the impound lot. Every time I drive past, I give it a little salute. And I gotta say, after all this, the new board leaves me and my tree alone. I hope they learn that HOA rules have limits, especially when you try to mess with someone who knows their rights. Sometimes, all it takes to stand up for yourself is a folder full of documents and a little creativity. But hey, let me ask you, where's the line between community good and straight-up bullying? Is there ever a time when the HOA's authority should trump your property rights? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So, share your own stories, or let me know. Have you ever faced off with an HOA, a bossy neighbor, or some authority that tried to push you around? What did you do? Where do you draw the line between keeping the peace and standing your ground? Drop a comment below, because I know I'm not the only one who's had to fight for a little bit of justice in my own backyard. 15.